Hello everybody, good evening. It's 5 minutes until the race this evening, and thank you for joining. You are early. I'm early actually as well. Hope you're all well. This chasing tour, this is actually stage 2. I missed stage 1 yesterday, so there's a couple of stages in this event, and you actually have to pay for a race license, which is only a couple of pounds, a couple of euros, a couple of dollars, whatever you want to call it. So you have to register on their website, and yeah, I think it's a great incentive. Obviously, the chasing tour has been going for a couple of years now, or at least last year, and usually tends to be some very good racing. So we're here tonight to line up on the Three Little Climbs course. It is in Welsh. That course name. Tair Dringfa Fechan. I think that's how you say it, actually. I'm not 100% sure. I gave it a good go though. Went for a nice little gravel ride this morning, which actually turned out to be, well, nearly all day. I didn't get back until 4 p.m. We did have to drive to get to the start of our ride, which is always a novelty. So yeah, tonight I'm going to be stretching my legs after being sat in a van for a couple of hours. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, Mick. Yeah, it is. The first one is long. Indeed it is. I've had my first warning in the chat. Play nice today. This is my first and probably only warning. Actually, those of you that saw the live stream last night, if you caught it, did you know, I was looking back at the data, my normalized power for 33 minutes last night was 368 watts. And I got to be honest, I didn't realize how far I dug. I dug really deep in last night's race. And it really surprised me when I saw those numbers, because I didn't think the numbers were... I knew they were high, but I didn't think they'd be that high. Like, close to 370 watts for half an hour is getting close to my best numbers I've ever done for half an hour, actually. And that's around about the 383 to 385 watt mark. So, yeah. So why the double camera? I don't know. I found the other webcam the other day that I haven't been able to find for ages. I thought I'd set it up, so you know, it's a different angle, I suppose. I have put it over the power up icon. I'll probably have to move that at some point, so I apologise. But you know, I could just tell you what power up I've got, really, can't I? It's not the end of the world. Big sprint at the start, please, Michael. Okay, I better take this off. Although, actually, it's not super warm yet. It's still a bit cold in here, so I better leave this on. Not for long, though, because we're going to hit a climb very soon. So here we go, folks. Let's have a nice race. If I'm Correctly informed, this should be a mass start. Good question, Niall. I had to do an update, which obviously didn't happen. That is where I was. I made a big boo-boo. So I do apologise. I apologise, Gareth. I really do. It is all my fault. I didn't expect to be back so late for my ride today, so that's also why I wasn't able to do the update far enough in advance. So this is a mass start, as it seems. Well, Phil, Charlie's an absolute star. She's already cooked because she's heading out to ballet tonight. So fair play to her. Oh, it's a big bunch. Nice to see so many riders. Hey, and a back pedal jersey. Hey, good evening, Greg. I was just saying actually earlier on this stream, I was just saying last night, I didn't realise how strong my performance was. I managed to do around about 370 watts normalised power for about half an hour, which is only about 10 to 15 watts lower than my best ever. And it's certainly my best ever for this time of year, so early in the year. Just going to drop a couple of stubborn 1 or 2 kilograms, that's all. If I'll be honest with you. Just been a little bit slack on my nutrition because it's with lots of travelling and back and forth and lots of things interrupting, it's hard to stay on the consistency. So I'll get my act together now, get my act together. Next couple of weeks. And then the watts per kilogram will look a bit more familiar. Yes, the consistency is the hardest thing, especially when you're traveling. You know, when I was racing and flying here, there and everywhere about 10 years ago, oh, it was the hardest thing ever. It's not so hard now because I don't do as much traveling, but it was, you know, it's just one of those things. Right, better take his jumper off. Oh, I can't see. That nearly went well. Oh, now I'm at the back. See if I can move back forward here. Sorry guys, I won't be able to answer questions. Not right now. In a bit maybe, or the end of the race. Yeah, sorry, Greg. This is my permanent bike on this trailer. Cheers, Mike. Cheers, Mike. Hey, Michael, how are you? So I'm assuming, because there's a general classification with this, that there might be 2 races going on in this group, potentially. A race between maybe individual riders, and those looking for the overall. Eke out a bit of time. This section always drags on a bit longer than I remember. Jesse, if you're listening, Michael Harron says I have to attack you. You're in the black kit. Mick is just behind there in that 9-second group gap. Ah, nice one, Marco. Getting it done, get it done. That's a long way to attack, Greg. Jesse's gone for that move. Slipped away. I'm not sure what kit he's in, but he's in black kit. Okie dokie. Oh no, Phil. I don't know, I like the Tron. It's good all rounder, isn't it? Yeah, Scott sharing his journey. He's making a lot of progress since last year. It's very awesome to see, I have to say. Well, we're all human, Greg. We're all human. Last night's effort was a big one. We'll see. That's right, average New Jersey man. Oh, Michael Harron asking for more work from the group behind. Can't stay off his keyboard, Michael Harron. Here's a little attack coming through the group here. You tell him, Phil. Hello, Karen. Hello, hello. Yeah, the weather looked appalling, didn't it? Ah, Lewis. Just in time. As long as we make the most of it, that's the main thing. Alright, 18 kilometers to go. Jesse's just been brought back. All together now, 12 of us at the front. Chase group, including Mick, at 28 seconds. Tijdring va vechan. Tijdring va vechan. Vechan. I do feel sorry for everyone who's... I love the fact that I got absolutely slated for mispronouncing like Spanish places. Come to Wales. I'm Welsh, I can't even pronounce them. Get that phlegm up. Come on, Mick, you got it. Cardiff, that doesn't count. Cadiz. Come on, Emma, you must have copy and pasted that. There's no way you wrote that. Yeah, you've done some crackers, to be fair, Marco. Some real good ones. Oh, there's another group going the other way. Oh no, Jesse! No! That is true. Ah, oh, sorry to hear that, Jesse. Nothing worse than technical issues, and I would know after recent problems. Ah. That's a good question about slow, deep breaths. I find myself doing that as my heart rate drops below a certain beat. So if I'm just coming off the back of a hard effort, you just let your breathing like take care of itself, and then as it gets lower and lower and lower, then you take a couple of big deep breaths. Generally, that's what I do anyway, and that kind of settles you. Any breathing technique when you do zone 2, I mean, you just kind of, again, it's very much autopilot. You know, they do say it's conversational pace, so I mean, you can check in with yourself to make sure it is, but, and again, hard effort, very much automatic. You just do what your body's doing. I hold my breath. I wouldn't advise that, but if it works. Ah, nice and Jesse. Hey Jamie, well, whatever floats your boat. I have got my top off. There's way too much draft. Yeah, I'm stuck between a problem there, Marco, because obviously I need to keep going, because if I just do a short effort, they can all respond to it. A longer effort obviously puts more people in trouble, but on a flat road, that's almost impossible anyway, I think. Everyone's waiting for the sprint. I didn't think it would come to a sprint, but there we are. Oh, I went too early, didn't I? Way too early. Oh, that race was so easy. And then just that 1 minute effort at the end. Just need to empty it correctly, and I just can't get that right. Can't get that right. You say I wasted too much energy, but at the end of the day, I don't want it to finish like that. You know, so I've got to go. I've got to make the race. I've got to go. You know, if people don't want to go as well, they did. There were attacks, but nothing could get away. It was just way too draftable. In other words, the course is too easy for when we're doing that speed and that level of power. It just all stays together. You know, it nullifies itself, so you can't do anything about it. It is what it is. You've just got to kind of regroup then, because mentally, you know, someone in my position, mentally, you don't commit to a finish like that because you don't want it to end like that. So you commit to making the race your own early on, and then you've got to switch your mindset during the race. Whereas maybe other racers, other riders who have the strength at the finish like that, you know, their mindset from the get-go is, that's my finish. I'm going for that finish. I'm just going to stay with everybody and just, you know, go for that finish like that. So, you know, it's an issue when, you know, it's an issue when it becomes an issue. You know, at the end of the day, you're trying to blunt the people who are going to kick your backside at the finish. That's all you're trying to do. And obviously, if you've got other riders in the group who have a very similar, you know, genetic predisposition to myself, then, you know, you create an environment where a breakaway could succeed, or, you know, the race could split early. In a situation like that, you know, there's 5 people. Well, I mean, technically, all the top 10 there at least finished within, you know, 7 seconds of each other. So, you know, we're all very similar abilities, and therefore, you know, in a sprint like that, we're all going to fancy our chances a little bit in that it's like, you know, should we just wait for the end? Because who knows, if we're that close together on paper, then maybe one of us will edge another one out. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I still did a phenomenal effort there. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that, because although the timing was a little bit off, granted, you know, my effort was great, I thought. You know, and I was really proud that I was able to sit at 500 and then kick, and I don't know what my peak was, we'll have a look now in a sec. But, you know, I felt like I was in the driving seat there for a second, where I was like, okay, I'm going to decide when to go. I'll go with 400 to go and see if I can hang on. And yeah, came up like 150 metres short, but, you know, if I'd have waited maybe 5 seconds longer, who knows, you know, would have maybe lasted a little bit and finished 5th, you know, maybe 4th. But, you know, generally, you know, you can just look at the caliber of rider there in the top 3, top 5. To put 5 seconds into me, you know, in a very short space of time. I know the wheels came off a little bit, but still, you know, it's difficult, isn't it? I seem to remember that course being harder. It just felt way too easy, apart from obviously this last bit. Hey, nice one, Mr. Meany, well done. You were telling me to stop attacking. Stuck to my wheel like glue. Hey, nice one, Mick. How'd you get on there? How'd you get on? Let's have a quick look here at the graph. One second. Let's have a look here. So you can just tell there, even on face value, right? You can tell what a race is like just by looking at that very small summary on the left-hand side of the screen. So you can tell, obviously, the way the race panned out just by looking at it. And, you know, the 20-minute power, not very high at all, you know, all things considered. And, you know, we didn't make a breakaway work. So, the 20-minute effort is quite low, you know, especially when you compare it to these power numbers on the other end. So you've got the 5-minute power where, again, we didn't really do any massively long efforts. Yes, you could call the first climb, the first effort, quite long, but you know, it was kind of a big surge, and then it settled down, and then it was a little surge at the end again. And I think, you know, the break-in point tends to be, you know, 3 minutes plus. But because that climb was ridden, I think, a little bit conservatively from the front group, you know, we didn't really push any big 5-minute numbers that you might expect from maybe making a successful breakaway stick, or, you know, going up a climb and trying to force the pace in the first couple of minutes. Of course, the 1 minute effort and the 15-second, you know, they're quite large in comparison, obviously, right? Like that final minute, you know, we'll have a look here at the graph. You know, it's all here, isn't it? That 1 minute effort is all right there at the end. But yeah, that critical power, I was gonna say, that felt like a big 1 minute effort there. And although it's a lot closer there for the 1 minute, and then there's a big gap if I go a couple of seconds less. But that's a pretty big effort for myself, I must say. 555 for 60, or 59. It's quite large. Just trying to think. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I know I talked about weight earlier. I don't know how much that would have helped me on that, you know, that last 100 meters if I was carrying about 3 kilos less, but who knows? Could have held out a tiny bit more with, you know, I said earlier on the stream that I've probably eaten too many biscuits or two. And with all the traveling, my nutrition routine has been swept under the carpet, but we'll get back to that. At the end of the day, the power numbers are good. And that's the main thing. That's the priority. Fitness, power numbers should always be the priority. So there we are. I hope you enjoyed that stream, everyone. That was a good race finish, and a tough one too. But nevertheless, an entertaining one, I hope. Good to race with some of you who are fans of the stream, fans of the channel. Yeah, good to race with you. Good to race with you guys on Discord as well. Couldn't locate my headphones. I would have jumped on the voice chat for a bit of banter and to tell Michael Harron to work more. But yeah, all things considered, a good evening. Emma, just stick to templess. Just hash out the miles. Get used to it again. Don't worry about speed. Don't worry about hills. Keep it steady. Exactly, it's all about the chat, not racing. And on that note, we'll end there. Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and I'll see you in a couple of days. It's been good. I will catch you then.